It is setting up the streaming. It will take few seconds. Yeah, Ratnagara.
Okay. Namaste. Welcome, my dear masters. Welcome to the digital Ahimsa Dhyana Gnana Yagam of 5th day. I thank PSSM USA for the opportunity to share all this knowledge for all of us by introducing every day a new master, a speaker to share wisdom and to meditate. Today's our speaker is Gaurav Paliwal ji. Gaurav ji is engineer by profession. He experiments. He's an experimenter by nature and spiritual by belief. And he learned yoga and he knows 25 different kriya. He learned kriya yoga 25 years ago, and he has been practicing pranayama and meditation for the last 4 years. He follows Isha Foundation, started by Sadhguru, and he is a pyramid. He follows pyramid meditation as well. He's learned inner engineering in India and advanced meditation in Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in USA. He has spent 4 years of researching quantum physics to spread knowledge and awareness of meditation, especially in youth. And this is what we really need, Gauravji, for all the youth, especially where they are in a lot of dilemma. I myself have a kid in a home. To convince them is a very difficult between the physical and the spiritual world. With this, I welcome Gauravji to share, give us knowledge, followed by meditation. Welcome, Gauravji.
Thanks very much, Ratna ji and the PSSM USA for this opportunity. The more we share, the more we learn. Or what I truly believe is the best way of learning is sharing. So today, what I would like to share is about water. Because anything we eat is dependent on the digestion, depending on how our body accepts it, and that dictates what impact it will have on our body, on our health. So why we are, or we should be caring about this particular, chemically we can say S2O, but why we should be very clear and mindful about water, how it impacts us. It impacts our meditation, sadhana, doesn't matter you do yoga, pranayama, meditation, how it is so much deeply ingrained in everything. So let's understand some cool things, some facts about water, because you see, when you are just talking about water, it's very natural. The first feeling comes in mind, what's the big deal about it? See, 97% is seawater. Only 3% is drinking water in the whole world. And out of which only 1.2% is really drinkable. Rest is all in the, glaciers and ice cap, all those on top of mountain, which we cannot access. So you can imagine it's just 1.2% of the whole water that we have on planet Earth. We can use for drinking purpose. Now, water is the only substance where all three states can be readily observed in our day-to-day life. You can see water in gas form, liquid form, solid form. Depending on age of a person, we could be 70 to 90% water. When you're very young child, the percentage is higher. As we grow, the percentage a little bit drops. So the average is about 75. So if our body is 75% water, so you can imagine how much important this could be. So first to understand and then give due respect to this particular element. And if we do, then obviously we will reap the benefit. So Earth is about 71% water. So now you see the connection. Our body, 70, 75, very close, because Earth is 71, body is 75. Is it a coincidence? Now, an adult average, we drink 2 to 2.5 liter of water. This is recommended. Now, if we do not drink enough amount of water, it really has very severe impact on our body. Now, can we drink too much? Well, technically, yes, but mostly the problem is we drink, or some people drink too less. And if a person loses just 12% of water in our body, it could be fatal. So you can imagine the importance, how it is really dictating actually our health, our well-being. Now, different research are being done, and one of the site I most frequently use is this PubMed, which is PUBMED. It's a government site. All research papers are there, and not just related to pure science, but a lot of spiritual topics are also available. So masters, anytime you have any doubt or you're curious about something, I highly recommend this is a very good site that one can really use. So what it means here is that the water is lost during breathing. People think, okay, I'm exercising, I'm sweating, I'm losing water. But even just by breathing, we lose water. And because we are talking about losing water and our connectivity with the trees and with the outer world, because this water which you're losing with your breath is having more information about you than even if you go and get your CT scan. And when trees are also, this breathing is not just for us, it's for animal kingdom, plant kingdom, this exchange. So that's how the exchange of information takes place. It's a very beautiful mechanism of nature. Now, this exchange means the amount varies depending on the factors, like if you're exercising or at rest, depending on the external temperature, the humidity. Average is about 350 milliliter for the day. That means 15 milliliter per hour. Specific hour, of course, it can go up and down. So the average comes 15. Now, interesting thing is, see, we talk about here average person. Let's look at some of the animal world. So you see, the meat industry is a very big industry, we all know. And now you see how much impact it is making. Where an average person is drinking 1,000 liters a year, the beef, more than 15,000 liters, sheep, pork, goat, chicken, anything you see, more than 4 times, going up to 10, 15 times. So you see, when we say vegetarianism, there is a lot of reasons behind it. How much pollution is associated with it? Because in order to make this water available, a lot of waste goes in the industry. There are people who are not getting drinking water, yet for this industry, from different farms, you can imagine how many millions and millions of liters of water is diverted. So this was brief about that, but it just links that why we promote vegetarianism. Now, is this all? Or water has some really mystic, some real scientific characteristic? So you see, within the molecular structure of water, chemically we say is H2O, right? It retains the information it has captured. Any substance that comes in contact, it leaves a trace in the water. So imagine water, the river starts from the glacier, then it starts flowing down. Every rock, every, you can say the city or town, it's going across, it's capturing information. By the time it reaches the sea, it has a lot of information in it. So it's a cluster of molecules, means a lot of molecules. When we say molecules, means the smaller structure, what we simply say H2O, which is hydrogen and oxygen. So without getting too much into the science and this, but just to understand that this cluster is like group of friends. Okay, you study in whichever, say you're a student in grade 6, you have 30 students in your class, but suppose one student leaves and moves to a different city and all, you still have 29. Your group is still maintained. After some time, maybe a new student comes, again you are 30. Similarly, water, it maintains this thing, this whole information. Why? Because one or two leaving does not destroy the whole cluster. And that is why this information is retained right from the glacier to all the way when it reaches the sea. Water is a recorder of frequency, and that's how it carries information. Frequency, you can express in any terms. You can say in terms of wavelength, in terms of energy, because it's just a conversion of one form to the other. And our thoughts creates frequency. Every thought has a frequency, and that's how it's recorded in water. People and food are mostly water. We just saw even Earth, 71% water. So vitality of water depends on how it flows. In nature, you will find water always goes around a smooth curve. Water never goes in a sharp 90-degree turn in nature. It will flow in a very smooth form. Now, with positive emotions, prayer, it can remain fresh for a long time. Any worship place you go and you will see the water there, and there is you will not worry whether it is there for just 1 hour or 1 day. It remains fresh. Now, in terms of retaining this information, there was it was an accidental experiment done in Germany. So they had the poison, and the poison was capped, but accidentally that piece of the container went into the water beaker. And next day, when the scientists, they came and they found it, and they checked the water chemically was H2O. Nothing wrong. It did not leak into the water. But when they tested for the properties, they could found the poison in water. Chemically, nothing wrong. Water is water. H2O is H2O. But the frequency, the information reached the water. So that is the beauty of when we talk about this, how water is really a lifeline. Now, briefly, we'll talk about another thing which we see in nature. So don't worry about the science part. We see in nature, which is called Fibonacci constant. Yes, it's a mathematical or it's a scientific term, but all it means is it's a golden ratio. It's a ratio which is representing a particular, again, in terms of the formation. And what kind of formation? Like if you see cyclone coming, if you see the universe, if you see the shell, you will see this spiral formation. Now you see we have pineal gland, third eye, we have our crown chakra. So the location of pineal gland, why it is so important, it's connecting to the universe. We say it's our antenna. So you see this formation of a spiral one, how it overlaps with our brain. The center of this is exactly where the pineal gland is. There are many fruits, vegetables, pine cones, cauliflower. They are all in this shape in nature. So when we are talking about water, again, it is H2O. There are 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen. The angle between the 2 oxygen, it's roughly 104 to 107 degrees. But the beauty is, when the water is melting, from the glacier, as I mentioned, the river starts. We all know this. The angle goes to 108. Now, why this happens? Water is water. You cannot make by visually any different between the two. You cannot say this is this and other one is that. The ratio of hydrogen ties, now this is the Fibonacci constant, the moment it goes to 108. And when it is this 108, it deletes all its memory. You see, we have laptop, phones and all. We know we can, if we have a hard drive, you can reset, you can format. This is the nature's program of reformatting water. And it says, okay, you are, it's like a blank whiteboard, write whatever you want. And the water starts its journey and it starts recording as it flows. Now, is water? Anywhere you go, you see. So there is an instrument which I use personally as well. It's called BioWell. It captures human energy, and you can see your, different parts of the body, the organs and all. So that team from this organization, BioWell, they went to Venezuela, and the place is called Roraima. Roraima is a beautiful place. It is isolated, not much, interference from the our civilization, and you have to really climb up, like you can see in the image, on the top of the mountain, and the water there is pure form. And when they checked the energy of that water, it was much energetic, 40,000 times more active water than what we get usually in our city life. Why? Because it is not polluted. It is not polluted means just the gas or chemicals and all kind of negativity. So people in this area has much longer lifespan. And when they checked the scientist human energy form, like you can see on the left side, it was before and right side is after. You can see the energy around the person. All the gaps are filled. It's so uniform. What is represent is after drinking this water, the body's function, different organ, different systems started functioning much more better or optimally. The human energy field improved all of a sudden just by water. No medicine, no nothing, just water. So you can imagine how much impact water has on our health, on our well-being. And this can easily be checked. You don't need any, major CT or MRI, that kind of thing. This is very easy, one by one finger, and you can do the scan. But the point is, it is the impact of the water. Now, we mentioned that water flows naturally along the curve, in a very smooth formation, smooth line. However, in our civilized world, water is transported from one point to the other through different, big or small pipes. It is pumped from the pumping station. So many 90-degree turns you can easily see, even in your house. So the water gets polluted spiritually, not chemically. Still, it is H2O, but it is getting polluted spiritually. What it does is, as it flows through the city, from the pumping station to your house, it is going through underground piping, it is going through different parts of the city. And as we mentioned, water can retain information in forms of vibration and energy. So whatever is happening, all kind of, stress, yelling, negativity, hatred from the city, as it is flowing, it is absorbing that information. So it is still water, but spiritually polluted. So what happens is, by the time it reaches our tap and we just open the tap and drink, it's not pure water at all spiritually. Chemically or otherwise, you will say, hey, it's pure water, there's no issue with this. But the energy, when you will see, it is all negative. So masters, one simple thing we all can do not drink straight from the tap. Store your water. If you see, in our villages or houses, back home, when from generations, people will have either, any utensils. It could be matka, just a clay pot. It could be a steel or any other. They will store it overnight. Because when you store the water, it's getting resetted. So all this negative is whatever energy it has absorbed, it will be released. So one simple thing we can do, please don't drink directly from the tap. Now, Dr. Emoto, late Dr. Emoto from Japan, he did wonderful experiment. His book was also published with all this detail. And what he did was experiment with water from different locations. So he checked from different places and checking the emotions, the anger, the love, the gratitude, and all those kind of different things. Taken from Antarctic, or taken from a pure stream which is known to be clean water. You will see on the first three, they are beautiful crystals. So just take the water and check under microscope and you see the crystals. But as you come down in this image, you can see the water which is kind of polluted. There is no crystal formation. And on the very bottom, you will see that distilled water has no crystal. And we think, wow, we should be, we feel sometimes proud. Okay, I'm always drinking crystal water, or sorry, distilled water. And then taken from the dam on the very bottom, you can see that before the prayer was offered and after. So polluted water, but after offering the prayer, it became spiritually active. That means you see the beautiful crystal. Not only that, further experiment were conducted with microwave, the number one. You can see, you don't see a crystal. Distilled water, no. Tap water, chaotic, not good, number three. And then what you see on the bottom is after prayer were offered, and different types of beautiful crystals. These experiments clearly showed the power, not just of water, but the power of prayer. How spiritually water changes. And then we say sometime, oh, I'm not feeling well, I'm sick, something this, something that, and we keep blaming a lot of things. And water is 75% average. It is impacting our digestion, our well-being, everything. The whole system relies on it. Now, living water creates geometry. This is the water consciousness. And different people, including Dr. Hans, the Swiss scientist, he experimented with different patterns based on the sound frequencies. Of course, distilled water, no crystal, but as they were playing different tunes, different classical music, of course, they were getting different kind of different patterns. And those beautiful patterns that they see, it was very clear that how we see. So then in Germany, there was experiment done. And Stuttgart Center for Aerospace, they did this experiment. Sorry, let me. Oh.
What extent is water capable of picking up information? What does it perceive? To what extent is water capable of picking up information? What does it perceive? And how does it remember it over time?
Simple way of making the structure of a drop of water. The Aerospace Institute in Stuttgart has discovered a relatively simple way of making the structure of a drop of water visible. The researchers have had their efforts rewarded by insights into a very beautiful world. Each drop has a face of its own, unmistakable than another. Why are the individuals? We got a lot of people to come to a lecture hall here at the Institute. We got a lot of same water to a lecture to make drops at exactly the same time. Gave them all the same, collected all the drops, and they discovered that exactly the same different images, like the same water, and discovered that each see these different images in the same water.
Audio seems to be over. I mean, it hears like it's overlapping, Gaurav.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it went.
Yeah, I think we clicked on it twice. So
1 second. Let me play again. Please let me know if it is playing okay.
To what extent is water capable
yes.
of picking up information? What does it perceive? And how does it remember it over time?
The Aerospace Institute in Stuttgart has discovered a relatively simple way of making the structure of a drop of water visible. The researchers have had their efforts rewarded by insights into a very beautiful world. Each drop has a face of its own, unmistakable and unique. Why are the individual drops so different from one another? We got a lot of people to come to a lecture hall here at the Institute, gave them all the same water, had them make drops at exactly the same time, collected all the drops, and then discovered that each individual produced different images from the same water. And here you can see the results. Here on the right, you can see that the images of the individual students are different, but those made by a given student are all quite similar. This is the work of the first experimenter, this one here from the second, this from the third, and this from the fourth. Individually, they can quite easily be reproduced, but you would never have thought that they were all from the same water, because when you compare the images from the different people, you see some big differences. Then we undertook experiments to find out whether things changed when we put something into the water. A real flower was placed in the water. A while later, we took a drop of water, and here you can see one of the pictures. And you can see it in this picture. It's the typical image you get when you put a flower into water. You can recognize the flower in every single drop in this glass, of course. That can be reproduced and has significance. And if you were to put a different flower in here, for example, a Sweet William flower, then all the drops of this water would look like Sweet William. The statement that water has a memory practically changes our whole way of looking at the world, of course. Let's travel down the Rhine in the figurative sense. The water is flowing down the Rhine, picking up information everywhere it goes. So the water has more information at the mouth of the Rhine than it had at the source. And the Dutch, living at the mouth, when they drink that water, they're also drinking all that information. Thus, the world's oceans would no longer be something that separates us, but instead a giant storehouse of information. The rain would perhaps be a data medium carrying information to the world.
So, masters, this clearly shows that it is not just, something we refer to Ayurveda or something we refer to a common, particular group of people. It has gone to different part of the world, different people from Japan to Europe to America, of course, India, different experiments, which shows how really the water is behaving chemically and spiritually. Now, if we look at another aspect, which we know for thousands of years, that silver and clay pot are used in India, for, again, various different purposes. Silver is used as antibiotics. So now we know scientifically, but before people, they knew, our Rishi Munis and our masters, and the clay pot is heavily in use, not just because it is so readily available, but see the beauty, because human body is acidic in nature and clay is alkaline. So when you're using alkaline pots and you're having that water, it balances your pH very naturally. People used to stay healthy. So nowadays, when we have all these other mechanisms, we are going away thinking that, oh, this is an old story, but this is not old. This is a totally natural mechanism. No chemical, no nothing. Yes, Nowadays, you may get those shiny clay pot that may not be clay. It may look like. So please be careful when you buy. Ensure it is that, because otherwise, if it is just, made in factories and all, then it can have some lead contamination or something else. When it comes to glass and plastic, another two common elements. So glass is silica, basically, which is natural. So most glass bottles, they are smooth. So the water stay harmonized. Sometimes, you will see bottles with different design, and especially when it comes to plastic. Plastic is chemical. And most of the bottles are not designed smooth. So water inside become chaotic. When you drink that water, negative energy can never give you positive result. So another way to look at it is animals can sense which one is naturally pure water, which one is artificially pure water. If you give them two, they can sense. Why? Because they have connectivity with the nature, with their inner self. We are losing it in terms of our, the day-to-day lives and all kind of lifestyle issues. Copper, again, even in Ayurveda, it's been said, very good properties. However, we have to be careful. Yes, drinking from copper vessel is always considered good, but it is not for all 12 months you are drinking from copper vessel. That you should give a break in between. So if you are drinking regularly a couple of months, give a break in between. You don't want copper toxicity by any chance. In the morning, if you drink, absolutely fantastic. So if you're using a corroded copper bottle, then yes, copper toxicity is possible. So just, basic cleaning or basic maintenance, what you do for any other thing is for copper as well. It has antibacterial properties, so you get all those advantages. Just give a break. Don't like whole day drinking from copper vessel or a whole year, then it becomes too much, which is not good for the body. And when we do, whether you are for cooking, whether for just drinking purpose, if you are using copper, naturally you are getting the benefit, your brain efficiency, your, all kind of thyroid, inflammation, digestion issues, aging, all those, the frequently talked about issues can be prevented or eliminated. So again, it's a question of going back to basic. When I say, our thousands of year old wisdom, it is not old science, it is the real science actually. Another very common thing which impacts our health is we are traveling and we think, oh, we'll just buy a bottle of water. But if you see in the market, yes, you're getting mineral water, but their pH all over the place. 7 is neutral, less than that is acidic, higher than that is alkaline. Imagine if you're getting water with as high as 9 and 10, so much alkaline, or if you're going all the way to 4, 4.5, so much acidic. Now your body has to work really hard to bring it as close as possible to the 7. It's common, especially in India, that people use RO system. Please check, unless you have asked and you have added an additional unit, it could be acidic. So just get it checked, because if you are drinking heavily acidic water, not good for your system. And again, you can buy a bottled water, but you can pick the brand and you can say which one is as close as possible to the neutral, which is 7 area, rather than drinking 4 or drinking, 10 side. Otherwise, without knowing, we are hurting our system. The energy which could have been used for healing is now just used to overcome this factor. But when we use clay pot, all this issue is gone. Very naturally, it balances the pH. So, a couple of things. It's said that avoid drinking water while standing. Drink while sitting. It is good for your joint pain. And it's so common, you're standing and drinking. And of course, an hour before or during or an hour after the meal, we should avoid. Yeah, if you want a sip or two, that's okay. But, just drinking whole glass because you are diluting the enzymes and all the digestive juices. Especially in North America, what I've noticed, people, they keep sipping water whole day. And that also, they will take ice. And ice is melting. That means such cold temperature. Again, you are bombarding your body with all that extra work because body has to now heat it up and bring it to the right temperature. It confuses the body. So if you are having sip by sip, body lose track. So if we just quickly summarize it, water is just not like any other liquid. It is really, it has program of life in it. It has a memory. It is advisable to drink water which has been stored overnight. That means do not drink directly from the tap, store it and then drink it. Of course, if you have pyramid in your house, you can store under the pyramid, gain that extra benefit and then drink. Blessing of food and water improves its energies. Even what you can do is, if you have a glass bottle, write the positive, what we call the elevated, blessings or emotions or love, and I'm healthy, whatever you want to just write it and put that water around it. You can see through it because it's a glass bottle. You will transfer the energy to the water, means positive energy. Utensils used to store water is important. Which one you are using? Of course, avoid plastic, please. And pH of water is very important. And by these simple things, we can really impact our health, and you can really bring a lot of benefits, not only to you, but your family members as well. So masters, this was about water, simple things that we can implement or we can share with others.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words reminds me, Swami Vivekananda said, the more advanced science get, the more people know how scientific the ancient Indian living was.
Absolutely.
It's really, really eye-opener. I'm really glad to introduce you today. It's really my honor, to get a chance to know you, to know the wisdom that you share, what we are eating, what we are drinking are making us and making this world. Thank you so much. And do you like to take any questions?
Yes, Ratnaji. So if anyone has any question or if they want to share their experience on the same topic, please feel free to.
This was the sorry, one last word. This is the reason I think our every ancient times, any puja that they give tirdam, they make sure that you get tirdam because of all the positive affirmations that the puja has. Thank you so much. Yeah, please go ahead. I'm so sorry.
So thank you for sharing that scientific discussion on water. It's a good reminder. So is there a recommended amount of water that we can drink? Because there's so many messages on that. You get so confused that what is a good amount that we should consume?
See, rule of thumb is 2 liters for an average adult. So depending on your weather location, typically in summer, it could be a little higher, and peak winter, it could be a little less. But even in peak winter, we should ensure that we do drink. And just because you are not feeling thirsty, that does not mean you should say that, okay, I'm not thirsty, means I don't need to drink. Because the way the body works, again, because it is 75% water, every cell mechanism, the way it works, depends on the water level. So in Ayurveda, they say if you are feeling any kind of issue, sickness, illness, whatever, don't take anything. First, ensure you are having enough water in the day. First, ensure whether it's 2 liters, whether you say 1.8 or 2.2, doesn't matter. We don't have to go that precise, but given average number is 2 liters per day.
Thank you for that beautiful presentation, sir. Masters, if anybody has questions, this is the time. And after this, we are going uh, into the meditation session. So,
Sorry, just one more question. When we started, you had mentioned about Kriya Yoga. Is that something that you teach as well?
No, the kriyas I have learned, I do on my own, but I don't teach because in kriyas I am not at that level where I can teach, and kriyas are also something which, at least as per me, it should be in person if possible. Meditation is and pranayam is still okay online, but kriyas I highly recommend. If you have someone, any naturopath doctor around, it will be really good.
Got it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sir, I have a question. How
Ji.
about the rainwater? Like, is it okay to drink the rainwater or?
See, rain is pure. However, because of our some industrial situation and other pollution issues, when it is coming down, it may carry those pollutant along with. So it may depend which city, which location we are, the person is living and all. So the rainwater is rainwater, but the different part of the world, the rainwater may have different ingredients based on the pollution level in that area.
Got it. Thank you.
But again, typically we say, water from the well, because earth is a very big purifier, right? Again, unless there is some localized issue in particular place, generally the rainwater comes, get filtered, and then, you drink. Most of the time it should be okay, but there is possibility, and depending on the pollution nowadays.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
I have a question, sir. Like you said, it takes overnight time for the water to get settled. If we want to do it during daytime, how long do you recommend to keep it aside? Let's say if it is pyramid, or do you also recommend keeping it in a silent and quiet place, away from sounds?
So it's a good question because I will clarify what I mentioned. Yes, the overnight I mentioned so that you don't have to, apply our brain. We just leave it overnight because then you don't have to count how many hours and what. Next day morning, water is ready. But obviously, depending on the number of people in the house, how many, bigger utensils or other things. First and foremost, avoid drinking directly from the tap. So if someone says, hey, I can have 1 hour, but I don't know if I can have 4 hour water sitting in, that's okay. If you can have 4 hours, fine. If not, 1. So first, avoid directly. There will be settlement. There will be purification from the spiritual point of view. Overnight, we say, because mostly nobody's using water at that time. So whatever you have, you can just before sleeping, you can have it, whichever utensils you are using. And certainly I use pyramid, and I have experimented with the biowell as well, because once I started drinking pyramid water, I saw the energy change. So I did see the benefit. So I just take, 2-3 big jugs. I just leave it under the pyramid because totally free. At that time, no one is using it. And in the morning, then we just take those, utensils out of jugs, and then we just fill our bottles and we go for our daily routine that way.
So the biowell shows you a picture, or it shows you a number?
The biowell shows you the energy which is reflected in that, the blue kind of zones around the body. So what it does is it gives you the reading from 3 perspectives. The Ayurveda, which is our chakra. So it will show you your chakra level, alignment, and the size. And then it shows the meridians. Meridians are the Chinese philosophy. And from the what we call allopathy, all the systems, whether it is your heart, immune system, muscular system, skeleton, all that system with respect to the energy. So this way you can see, okay, where I have too much energy, where I have too less, and then we can work accordingly.
So where do you recommend getting it from?
If you go on the website, let me put it in the chat. And again, only if one is interested. So that's the website. I put it in the chat, is bio-well.com. In that website, you can you will see practitioner. So it will give a world map, and then based on your location, you can find if there is someone who's a practitioner, and if that person is available, you can contact, go and get it scanned. There are some other tools, if I may call them as well. Different companies have different kind of options. I just have this, and I prefer this based on last 3 or 3.5 years of my involvement in it. So yes, I like it because it is reliable, and I use it for my own kind of picking the direction. Is my meditation improving or not, or whatever my health is it going in the right direction or not?
Thank you.
Sir, it's a coincidence that yesterday I read the news about water, that most of the water that we are having right now are passed through the dinosaurs and all that, those ages. I thought, okay, then we have all those memories, all those knowledge carried in the water. But today, what you shared is something little new, like, I mean, completely new for me. That water also get reset by certain angle. That's quite interesting.
That's nature's mechanism. Imagine if there was no resetting of water, millions and millions years of information would have just exploded.
True. Thank you so much. It's amazing session. Thank you so much, sir.
Very welcome.
I second to Srikanth, sir. You should come more often to share your wisdom.
So, Gaurav, so like you said, after it melts, it goes to the angle 108.
So if we manage to consume it at like when before melting at 104, so what happens? What's the memory that it carries?
See, if you are drinking as the glacier is melting, at that time it has no memory. Obviously, it is pure water, right? As it starts flowing down through different cities and going towards the ocean, then it is now carrying different information. That's why we say don't drink directly, keep it and tap, especially at home, because it is going through all those 90 degrees and all that. Imagine like like a rush hour, if you are trying to get into, say, big city, any metro, there is a rush going on and people are just pushing each other. So imagine water molecule being bombarded and pushed as they are flowing through the pipes. So that's what it is at home. That's what we can do. Allow it to rest. Just like your guest comes, what do you do first? Generally, you offer a glass of water that, okay, sit down, relax, and then we will talk. It's not just somebody just enter your house and we start talking, hey, and all that thing. So same as treat water like a guest entering, that, okay, first you relax and then we'll, do our business. So that's what it means. So if you're having directly at the glacier, of course, that is the natural, the purest form. So you will have a different taste. Sometimes like if you go to glacier like Alaska or anywhere or glacier, people will just, or if you come to Canada, of course, we have the whole glacier bay here from Iceland, it breaks. So if you pick the piece of ice directly from the glacier as it's melting, that piece of ice is, 10,000, 20,000, who knows how old that glacier layer is, depending on which part of the glacier it is coming, top, middle. So that water that you're drinking is thousands of years old. No pollution. Because 10,000 years old, there was no chemical industry, whatever. But 99% of the time, we'll have the water, what is available to us. So what we can do in our day-to-day life, if possible, I know North America is not that easy, but I wish if someone starts selling a clay pot, those matkas here. That's the
While you share, I just Google, sir, around $200 you can find, but I don't know about the lead contamination, like the shininess, that I cannot really identify by looking at the parts on the online. But yeah, you definitely have $200 minimum.
See, what I mean by that is, again, please don't think the matka part, every matka, but what I was referring, the shiny one, like even the diyas for Diwali, when we buy, you see those are shiny ones. But if you really go in the village or any city, buy directly like from the people who are making, those will not be shiny.
True.
You can clearly see the difference, kind of a machine made versus a real clay pot. That's what I mean. So if it is, I don't know, I can't say made in this country or that country, but you can see the machine made versus handmade. And typically in machine made, then we don't know, is it clay or is it what? Then be careful.
Also, sir, one quick question. So, you said that if the water gets converted into ice cubes, right? So, it loses the memory. So, does it lose the memory in the form of ice cubes?
When it is melting from the glacier,
Uh-huh.
that time the angle changes to 108 and it kind of resets.
Yes.
Not the refrigerator ice cube one.
Okay, so refrigerator ice cube one still has a memory?
I cannot say specifically because unless I have to look for any technical paper if someone has researched. But the research that I was referring to was referring to the glacier, because that is the natural mechanism. Refrigerator is artificial. We are just kind of, making the temperature go low, that water is getting freezed. So certainly the state is changing from liquid to solid. That's given. But whether the angle is changing or not, I cannot be 100%. So I'm not sure on ice cube part. But trust me, that's a very good question, because anybody who can prove or confirm that, I think the refrigerator industry will use it as a big marketing technique.
Yes, sir. Okay, yeah.
No ice cubes for you, sir.
And also the wisdom that you shared, right? So it has been given from our forefathers from the ancient times, right? So all the mechanisms, all the traditions that we follow, right? So it has the memory imprints from plants, flowers, and even the stream waters flowing from the forest with the medical herbs and everything, right? So it's wonderful, sir, to listen to your words and getting some wisdom out of it about the memory of the water. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome, and especially for the youth, because youth who have not got, especially in North America, they have not got that opportunity to maybe live through that wisdom. So it is really they sometimes look for, okay, explain me scientifically, then I believe it. So then these are some of the things which they may get hooked onto. They may get convinced that yes, it makes sense. Our wisdom is true wisdom, which is coming from generations and generations, and it is not just Ayurveda says, so I should believe. There is a very deep research behind all that.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, when somewhere I read that when you raise cows in olden days, the owner of the house, when early in the morning when they go to the cow, they smell, they sense you, what you need, what you are lacking. They go in the forest, they graze to fulfill your deficiency. They graze those kind of leaves and then come back in the milk. That's the reason why the ancient people used to call mother is cow is nothing but like mother. I know, I mean, I read this, I understood, but I couldn't understand how it is going to get communication. The through the water in the breath is today I understood. Thank you so much, sir.
Very welcome. And I wish they teach all this in school, early education.
We are completely far away from this, sir. It's now become our responsibility.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. I can't really explain how thankful I am today to all of you. Especially, sir, please do more sessions like these. All of us need. Though we know we are really tend to use all the quick ways with this busy life. Now we need to renew our memories and the reasoning why we should stick on to our old ways. Please, we all need the knowledge like this. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. And I can make it buy one, get one free offer if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, sir.
Okay, so I will share again my screen. So hope everybody can see this, the neem and haldi.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is my own learning through, the hard way. So this is quickly I will share. In the morning, if you take neem and haldi, empty stomach, and we will see that just pinch of neem, pinch of turmeric, and if possible, turmeric, you are taking with lukewarm water and honey. What it does is it really cleans your gut. Why I got into this, we will see this, and the immune system, the way it does, there is no medicine in the whole world which can do this. And the reason I got through this is because, and I will show you, when I was going through my chemotherapy, the neutrophil drops and there is no medicine. And the only way they can manage this is by stopping the treatment. You cannot increase. And then I was researching as I was going through, and I found this book from Sadhguru. I purchased, I read, and then it talked about neem, haldi, and turmeric. So what it does is, it's not that if you have any health issue, then you take this. For a normal person also. I mean, what could be better than staying healthy, right? So this purifies your gut, the whole system. It, get rid of all the bacteria and other thing. And all you have to do is take bit of neem. Which one you take first doesn't matter. Bit of turmeric, and then bit of honey. Just take with lukewarm water. You can make like a ball, or you just take it. I take straight away because, again, why to add extra step of creating that ball? So just take with a spoon. Neem powder is available in our grocery stores. Turmeric, not a big deal. I mean, it's so in every kitchen I think we have. And then honey and this. Just this simple thing will keep you healthy. It will keep your gut clean. And if your gut is clean, trust me, your half the issues are gone. With turmeric, try to look for one which says with curcumin. Curcumin is the real essence which does this benefit. And curcumin, if it has, it should say that with black pepper as well. So curcumin with black pepper, because with black pepper, curcumin is really absorbed. That's all. Take any one. These two is what I found, because with curcumin is important. Otherwise, you get just turmeric. That's easy, but there is a big story about this curcumin part. So just ensure that it has curcumin, because when I was going through and it was dropping like crazy, and they say that, okay, we can't help it because the treatment will kill your neutrophil because of the whole process. And the moment it goes below 1, they have to stop. And the moment I started taking this neem and haldi, it started going up. And of course, I started telling my doctor, then of course, that's a no, one should not try telling doctors that such thing exists. But if anybody is in this situation, this is the one thing. If you are not in this situation, you should never be. So then just, use this simple things that is in our, whether Ayurveda, our Indian wisdom, or whatever we may call it, it is for everyone, not just for, if you are having any health issues. So right from the kids, so like now, everybody in my family takes, just stay healthy. Why you have to go to a doctor at all?
Thank you so much for that added cherry on the top. Yeah, it's lots of information. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Lots of useful information.
If there is no more, let me know. We can do meditation. And
yes, would you please lead the meditation?
Sure. I do without music. I'm not sure if it is okay with everyone. And if you prefer with music, then someone can play maybe.
I can play the music.
Okay. So if you could please play after 2 minutes once we get into meditation. Yeah. Okay, sure. That would be nice. Thanks.
Sure.
So masters, let's get ready for the meditation part. So let's close our eyes. First, we will relax our body. Then we will relax our mind. Bring our affirmation in subconscious mind, and then get into deep meditation. So just relax your body first. With eyes closed, maintain a gentle smile on your face. A simple act of maintaining a gentle smile relaxes your vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve in your body. And when this nerve is relaxed, it automatically drops your stress level. Relax your neck, your shoulders, hands and legs. Please keep your spine straight, but fully relaxed. So by now, your body should be like elastic, very flexible, no stress at all. Let's relax our mind. A simple way to relax your brain waves so that you can get into deep meditation easily is by slow breathing. 7 cycles of slow breathing means exhale as slow as possible and then inhale as slow as comfortable to you. No gap. So just exhale, inhale. This is 1 cycle. At your own pace, as slow as comfortable, 7 cycles. Now, masters, we'll get into deep meditation now. Start observing your breath. As you inhale, as you exhale. It is natural to have some thoughts during meditation. Don't fight with them. Don't feel bad about it. Just ignore them. Come out of it. Again, start observing your breath. As you inhale, as you exhale. Stay connected with your inner self. With body relaxed and your mind relaxed. Just stay connected with your breath and maintain your normal, natural, very smooth breathing. No extra effort needed. Let's continue. Dear masters, let's rub our palms together and place the fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now slowly, very slowly take the fingers off your eyes and come to your normal self, your normal environment.
Thank you so much, sir, for wonderful meditation.
Thank you all masters for making it a group session.
It's a beautiful meditation. Yeah, let me go.
Thank you so much, sir, for the great wisdom and a wonderful meditation. It was so intense. We wish you to come share your knowledge more often. Thank you, PSSM. Thank you all the masters who are present today, adding all your energy. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Gauravji.
Thank you, Shrikantji. Thanks for invitation.
Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful sharing. So much of insights, so much of learnings. Yeah, we'll try to implement few of them at least, whichever we are able to do. Good insights though. So thank you very much, sir. The meditation was intense, absolutely intense, and great energies. So thank you very much for coming to the platform, sir.
Thank you,
Thoroughly.
Shrikant.
Thank you.
Does anybody want to speak, or can I end the meeting? Does anybody want to share their experience, meditation experience? All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time and your presence and
The beautiful meditation and all the wisdom that you shared with us today is like refreshing our memory and reminding us to get into the path that our ancestors followed and to have energetic, spiritually energetic life. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks all masters. Namaskar.